Happy Saturday, Sainers. Welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. This is a fairly important video because, as you probably saw yesterday, the football review findings were released. Now, this has kind of been something we'd been waiting for since the Ross Lyon announcement, or pretty much since Brett Ratton was sacked. This was kind of something that we all kind of wanted to see. We wanted to see the process, what happened, and most importantly, the findings, what triggered these, the domino effect of events that we've seen in the last 3 to 4 weeks. So the club released it yesterday. You would have received either an email or it's on the website now on the homepage. You'll see it, Club Update, Football Program Review Findings, an update from President Andrew Bassett. Now, it's a fairly top-line document, I believe. I haven't actually gone through it in any great detail just yet. I thought it'd be really good to kind of do it with you guys for the first time and to go through each point and to read through it and to just find out what has happened and what this review has really discovered about our football club and what needs to improve. Dear members, this note is to provide you with a high-level summary of the findings and recommendations of the review of our football program initiated in late July to ensure that we were indeed building the foundations for long-term football success. In short, the review found that we had much to do and needed significant change to build these foundations. You will see from the staffing appointments already announced that we are moving aggressively to implement the review's findings. The board and management now have a very clear shared view of what needs to be done to ensure success and a firm resolve to deliver on it. I am now more optimistic than ever about the future of our club. We need your continued support as we work to ensure that our future is far more successful than our past. Please find attached the executive summary of the review, including findings, recommendations, and a report card on implementation. That is Andrew Bassett, president of the St Kilda Football Club. The methodology of the review. I initiated the review to examine if our overall football program was suitable to make us a genuine contender on a sustainable basis, and if not, to recommend changes in which we could have conviction. I like that. Genuine contender. That's all we want as football fans. The process was led along with a committee comprising fellow board members Russell Kaplan, Jason Blake, and Dean Anderson, as well as obvious CEO Simon Lefleen and the experienced and respected football administrator David Noble. Through the review, I spoke with over 100 people, including current coaches, players, other football and non-football staff, and external football people associated with the club and otherwise. David Noble also conducted independent interviews with key players, coaches, other staff, and stakeholders. He goes on to say there was an independent assessment of the current playing list and list management performance. That is really good because that's kind of been talked up as a key part of the footy club that has needed a bit of work. This also included assessments of the playing list and its development from 2018 onwards, comparison of our list against the rest of the competition, and our recent trading and drafting performance. That is awesome. I like that we didn't only compare the lists to 2018 onwards and to really identify whether it improved, but also comparing it to the rest of the competition, to the benchmarks, to the Geelongs, to the Sydneys, not only the teams that have been up the last couple of years, but the teams that have just continued to find their way to make finals, to make top 4 in the last 20 years. Geelong and Sydney being the main two that have done that sustainably for so long. So I really like that we've done that. Now, importantly, the juicy stuff, the findings. The review found that we did not have the platform needed to support a sustainable winning culture. I could have told you that before the review. And that significant change was needed in the football department and more broadly in the club to address concerns with the processes and fundamentals of our football program. That's something that we've talked about for so long, is that sustainable winning culture is not something that's been really strongly associated with St Kilda. That's something that I want. That's something that we've talked about on the channel, on the podcast for the last couple of years. So it's awesome that as a high-level finding, that's the be-all and end-all. Sustainable winning culture. We want to win on field. You want a strong culture, and you want it to be sustainable. So it's not a one-off. You want it to be 5, 10, 15 years down the line. We're still that club. Players churn over, players change, coaches change. But at the end of the day, you want St Kilda Football Club to be known for a good culture and to be a very competitive unit on and off the field. Club context. So this kind of breaks down, I guess, the good over the last couple of years. So he goes on to say they've made some good progress off field over the past decade. Obviously, we know that. Getting back to RSCA Park, first-class facilities, the Danny Frawley Centre, membership and sponsorship at record levels, rapidly repaying off our debt. And then obviously professionalism has improved and we have strong people across football, non-football, and the board working cohesively towards a common goal. So that's kind of the key ticks at the moment. We knew that a lot off-field was important and we were ticking boxes there. That's been heavily publicized on the channel. I've talked about that countlessly. But obviously on-field and our, I guess how strongly are we focused on winning as opposed to just being a nice football club has kind of been an issue for me. And it's good that this has kind of brought that to attention. He goes on to say, in our football program, we had seen encouraging signs of improvement through 2020, making finals, an injury-cruel 2021, and the first half of 2022 season. But our performances post the bye this year made it much harder to make the case that we were making sufficient progress in our football journey. That's exactly what we all felt. Raising the bar. In 2016, we were both in the bottom quartile in the competition in a number of key areas, including facilities, revenue, list, other aspects, and top quartile in nothing. Since then, we have lifted ourselves to second and third quartiles in most area, but that is not good enough. We want to be even higher. Moving forward, we must strive to be amongst the best, if not the best, in the competition across all key areas. We have a strong resolve to do this, and the recent changes to personnel hopefully demonstrate this commitment. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that this is ambitious. Obviously, he's still top line, but I really like that Bassett is really striving. He's sick of being middle of the road. He really wants to be close to the best, or if not the best. So I like that he's set a very, very high bar for the football club. But you have to. If you don't set a high bar, you're never going to be the best. You're never going to be contending. You're never going to be a serious outfit. You're never going to be sustainably successful football club. We need to set stronger expectations and have clarity about what we stand for. These are things that I love, that this is what the fans have been feeling for so long. So I love that the review is actually getting this out into the public. The review found that we need to be much clearer and stronger about what we stand for as a club on and off the field, with clearly understood expectations, standards, and non-negotiables. We intend to fix this quickly. That's a key point. We intend to fix this quickly. And I think that already, with Ross Lyon, with getting a bunch of these guys back, Robert Harvey, Lenny Hayes, Brendan Goddard, I think obviously what we stand for, they really do embody that based on the success they had in 09 and 10 without reaching the ultimate. We need a culture that encourages debate and offers vigorous feedback. Yes, we're too nice. We don't criticize each other enough. We don't hold each other to a higher standard, or at least we haven't for so long. Again, getting Ross Lyon in, getting these sort of guys in that have, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and they'll tell you to your face. That's exactly what we need. Any of the best environments, they are able to share their real feelings about each other and what needs to be improved. It's not a personal attack. It's a way to get each other, I guess, on the same page, first of all, and then secondly, to get everyone improving on whatever aspect of their game, whether it's off or on field, it needs. So I think that this has been an issue for a long time, but I think now, as they mentioned, if we make the expectations and non-negotiables clear, non-negotiables, things that are expected, pressure, this sort of stuff, getting your body right for the next game, training hard every single session. Those are non-negotiables. That's what you're paid for. That's not a nice to have. That's what's expected. So I think that having Ross in is going to definitely push this point that we need to encourage more debate and offer vigorous feedback, which I think has already been taken into account with his appointment. The decision of the board that followed to part ways with Brett Ratton as senior coach was a heartbreaking one for the board, given his character and commitment to our club. But at the end of the day, our duty was clear and we needed to put the interests of the club ahead of that of the individual. So that is as clear cut as you need it to be. Rats is an awesome guy. He was a great coach in part. He did amazingly in 2020 to get us through COVID in the hub and to make finals for the first time in 10 years or 9 years. But I love that this point is basically the club is bigger than the coach, and the fans are more important than anyone. And to please the fans, you've got to be a successful club and to strive for success. And to do that, if it meant parting ways with someone as nice as Brett, that's what the club needed to do, and that's what they did. So I love that. The review reinforced the need to continue to invest in development. The appointment of Damien Carroll this time last year to head up this area showing benefits. And then lastly, they mentioned the review concluded that the list management strategy outlined 5 years ago to drive greater competitiveness, initially through trades and then to rely primarily on free agency and draft to move to the next level, is still appropriate in hindsight. However, the review did identify some deficiencies and a need for an updated strategy and execution plan. This is an interesting point because Simon Lethlean was kind of very, very heavily involved in that sort of drafting and getting the free agents and getting the Brad Hills and the Dan Hannaberys, and that backfired massively. But he's now CEO, so that's the one little issue I have with this whole process is that it identified flaws with a lot of people that have gone now, or replaced or in different positions at the club. But with Simon Lethlean, he got a promotion out of this. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm giving him a chance. Obviously, he's been involved with getting Ross back and everything, but I think a lot of people he's still a bit of an issue. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's done things that haven't worked out, but no one's pointing fingers at him saying, you were responsible for Dan Hannabery. You were responsible for Brad Hill. You were responsible for this, for that, and the other. No one's put the pressure on him. So, I don't know. That's one thing that I wish was kind of more exemplified in the in this review. This is a point that I have read and I do like. 2.9, relationship between football and the rest of the club. The review highlighted that we should continue to sharpen our focus on football, minimize distractions to the football program, and maximize support. In particular, we have decided not to sell a home game in 2023. No more Cairns, no more China, no more New Zealand, none of that shit. Not that we've done China and New Zealand for a while, but Cairns and any other time we sell games for a bit of money. I know we're in debt, but you got to prioritize winning. Winning will bring financial support. That's a very, very good decision from the footy club, and I did post about that last night. And to apply a strong football lens to any cause games we consider undertaking. Yes, this is something that I've mentioned on the podcast, Marshy as well, Joycey as well. We've talked about this countlessly, that we try to be nice, we try to cater for all the causes. Pride game, we've got Spud's game, we've got Maddie's match, we've got many other causes probably. It's, even the Spuds game this year, we were so focused on promoting mental health, which is great, and I love it. But it took away from the game itself, and we got done by Essendon by 10 goals. You see it every time we do Pride, every time we do Spuds game. We're doing whole campaigns, getting every player involved. They're doing interviews. It's like, when do they have time to focus on the actual game? So I think having a point here where it says apply a strong football lens to any cause games is awesome. They also go on to say, in terms of strategy and recommendations, that they've recognised that we need more revolutionary change than originally intended to ensure that we are building towards a culture of sustained success. That the club needs to consistently raise the bar across the entire club to push into the top quartile of all key areas. The first step is to elevate our football and coaching program with a view to becoming one of the best in the competition. With the current appointments, you'd say that they're on the right track. And this will help to ensure we get the most possible out of our current list and also give us a clearer view by the end of the season as to where our list stands. To achieve this, the review committee put forward 3 substantial recommendations. 1. Identify and recruit an experienced head of football. Tick, Jeff Walsh. Improve the leadership and capacity of the coaching group. Ross Lyon, Robert Harvey, Lenny Hayes. You got Corey Enright. You got all these guys in there. Tick, tick, tick. Damien Carroll. You've got David Misson now. Number 3, make further investment in the leadership and development programs for our players. Have done that. David Misson. You've got Carroll as well coming on board. They mentioned the implementation of these recommendations will be the responsibility of the new leadership in the football program, overseen by the CEO reporting to the board. So Simon Lethlean, if this doesn't work, there's a bit of pressure on him and obviously on the president. The opportunity exists for the club to be sustainably successful on and off the field. With the support of our wonderful members and sponsors, we can become a club that is respected and feared. That is it. I like it. I think that there's nothing absolutely groundbreaking about... I know I said I wasn't going to read the whole thing, but I felt like you kind of have to. So hopefully you don't mind with that, Saners. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but in terms of my initial feelings reading this, nothing is absolutely groundbreaking, but I love... It's just kind of that, that exhale moment, that sort of relief moment for me, at least. I don't know about you, but for me, where it's like, there's been so many points on our potty or me in a review ranting and mentioning certain parts of the club that I wish would be addressed, and that this review now seemingly has put into the public eye a lot of those points, which is amazing. I can't think of a point here where I disagree, in terms of a more footy-focused approach. Perfect. In terms of being more ruthless. Perfect. In terms of being... aiming to be sustainably successful and feared. I love that he put that point at the end. Respected and feared. That is huge. That is a big point for St Kilda, because we are not feared. We're made fun of. We are fearful of everyone else, or seemingly we have been for so long. It's time that clubs look at us and go, well, shit, they've got their shit together now. They're going to be a tough football club to compete with on and off the football field. I think that a lot of this obviously has come from Andrew Bassett, and he's come from obviously big successful companies. And I think that it's taken a bit of a hit to his ego, the way the club's going. And I think he's put his hand up now and he's basically saying, all right, enough's enough. We need to get the right people in. We need to be ruthless. We want to be the best. So let's start acting like the best. So I think that, in terms of identifying head of football, we've ticked that box. We've got Ross Lyon back. We're identifying our identity, what we stand for, strength through loyalty. Lenny Hayes, Robert Harvey, Brendan Goddard, Ross Lyon. Strength. They were there when we were at our strongest, when we were so close to winning those flags. Loyalty, they're back. A lot of these blokes are just St Kilda through and through. Brendan Goddard, questionable, Essendon, but I think he always said that he wanted to come back to St Kilda, but he didn't know anyone at St Kilda. But now you've got Ross Lyon, you've got Lenny Hayes, you've got Robert Harvey, you've got people that he knows. Jason Blake, it's home for them now. Robert Harvey is home. Lenny Hayes feels home. Ross Lyon has always been a St Kilda man, despite going to Fremantle. So I think if we can get Rui back, there's an identity for you. So as much as the last couple of months has been chaos in terms of sacking Rats, and the appointments and the rumours and not getting anything done at the draft table the trade table. Having this come out yesterday and kind of reading through it now, just scrolling through it even now, there's a lot to like about this. I think not selling home games is huge, and just putting it out there that they know we're not happy. As fans, we are not happy. And we know that it's not all done. This is the start. We haven't even played a game under Ross yet. So this review is going to continue well through to next year. Subconsciously for us, this is a constant review of the footy club. We need to see if what they've put in place now, the major changes that they've made in the last couple of months, if they're going to benefit the club long term. And that's the goal. And it just seems like this will unite the club and the supporter base, because it always felt like we wanted the best. We wanted to be ruthless. We wanted to have sustainable success and to strive to be the best. And it always felt like the club was like, meh, we'll play footy, and if we win, great, and if we don't, we'll move on. We'll get our paycheck and we'll move on. But now it looks like it's a united front now. We all are going for the same vision, the same goal, and it's very fitting that next year is our 150th year, and you need to... I guess you need to be united in a year like that. So I think that, for me, I feel very connected to the club now after the last couple of weeks or last couple of months and the changes that have happened, and especially more so now reading this review. So, that's my thoughts on it. I hope you enjoyed the video, Saners. I'm assuming you have read the review. So I guess, I'm very, very keen to hear your thoughts. So please comment below. Let me know what you think. Is there anything lacking from this report? Did you want the full report? I know this is top line, but I think that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. I don't need to know more than what they've delivered here. I'm pretty happy with this. Is there a key point that you're really impressed with, that has stood out to you, that has resonated with you the most? If so, put it in the comments and let's create a discussion. And as always, Saners, please like the video, comment your thoughts as I mentioned, and most importantly, please subscribe. Let's get to 5,000 subs. We're so close to getting to that point, so it'd be great if we could do that before the season next year. So I'll wrap it up there, Sainers. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.